Hello. Yeah, Upasna, you can turn on your camera, please. We can go ahead now. Yeah, you're on mute. You're on mute, Upasna. You're still on. Okay. I got it. I got it. Now,
Thank you. Yeah, now I'm unmuted,
that's
I
okay.
guess.
So, a very good evening to everyone. Good afternoon, Upasna. Very happy to have you all here. We are live now. So, I am Parag, Growth Associated Admit Card, and today we have with us Upasna. We are here for a very exciting webinar, is what I can say. So, Upasna, you can go ahead and kindly introduce yourself, please. You're again on mute. 1 second.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. So, hello everyone. I am Upasna, and it's very nice to meet you all. So, just a bit of background around me. So, I studied engineering in India at Institute of Chemical Technology in Mumbai, and then I graduated in 2020, and I came straight to Imperial College London for my master's in management, which is also Imperial College Business School. And yeah, so I did my master's in management for a year, just like every other master's course in UK, which is for a year. And I graduated in September 2021 and got my degree just a day back. So yes, so I'm completely a graduate right now, and I'm working at the same company I interned in London. So that's a bit around me, and I'm happy to help you out in your um, pursuing in your in your struggle and in all your interest in pursuing the masters in the UK. So yeah.
So, very great to hear from you, Upasna. First of all, congratulations on having successfully completing the course from
Thank
such
you.
a reputed college, Imperial
Thank
College
you.
of London. So, great news. Also, that you're working now. So, I think this webinar will be of great information to everyone who has joined us here. So, let's go ahead and figure. So let's go ahead with the agendas that we have for the question that we have taken for the webinar today. So first of all, Upasna, can you so since you said that you graduated as an engineer, right? You did bachelor's as
Yeah.
an engineer, and then you went to do your master's in management, which is MIM from UK, right? So,
Yeah.
first of all, can you tell us the eligibility criteria that is required to pursue MIM?
Yes, sure. And that's a nice question. And this varies from university to university in the UK. I'm sorry if there's noise around me, but I hope you can hear me loud and clear. So, yes, this varies from university to university in the UK. So, I'll start with Imperial because that's what I'm most familiar with. And the eligibility criteria for Imperial was a little bit different compared to the rest of them. And mainly why I say it was different is because one of the main criteria was you had to have about 8.5 as a pointer out of 10 in your undergraduate, which is not the case in most other universities in the UK. 8.5 if you are from the other universities, as in apart from IIT BITS or a distinguished engineering university or any other university which is considered to be distinguished by Imperial, but it might not be the case in India. But this is how it is, and above 75%. So most of the time when we convert CGPA into percentage, it would be multiplying by 9.8. In my university, it was multiplying by 10. So I got into the criteria. I had a pointer of 8.6, but I still got into the criteria because I had 86 percentage. But if you guys would convert it into percentage, and if that is above 75, then you can definitely mail Imperial and let them know that you are above the percentage criteria and you are basically eligible. So this is one of the ways I'm kind of helping you about how you want to navigate if you don't have a pointer above 8.5, but if you have a percentage above 75. And this is for Imperial. And the other eligibility criteria was pretty simple. You cannot have beyond 2 years of work experience, because this course is basically designed for fresh graduates who directly want to take on the management world and to get a management perspective and a business perspective. So you could be from like undergraduate degree, you could study history, you could study engineering, you could study something like microbiology, and still you can take masters in management. That's what this course offers, basically a business perspective. So in that way, beyond 2 years of work experience is titled is it allows you to go for MBA rather and not MIM. So that's one of the main criterias. Apart from that, in Imperial, there was no necessity of taking a GRE. But there was a necessity for taking the English qualification examination, which is either the IELTS or it's the TOEFL. So, but you could take the exam after you get your accept, because this is mainly for the visa criteria, for the student visa criteria, more than for the college in itself. So, this is one of the few things which are the eligibility criteria in the UK. But let me give you a broader sense. Definitely, you would have to take an English qualification examination, because in the UK, even if we say that our medium of learning was in English and we have studied in our courses in English, they still require us to take that extra level of an examination to prove that yeah, we do know how to speak English, and we know we can very well figure out how to live here and use our communication skills in English. So this is one. Second, yes, apart from Imperial, there are a few universities, most of the top universities, LSE, LBS, Warwick, and Manchester, and a lot of schools. Yes, they do take into account your GMAT or your GRE scores. It's not only GMAT, GRE is also accepted. But if you feel that you would have a better edge by doing GMAT because it's more inclined towards management, then I would definitely say go for it. But if you feel GRE is a safer option, if you have some other thoughts, like you want to get probably into a technical course or a management course and you're kind of like dwindling between that, then I would say definitely take the GRE. And it both are accepted, so don't worry about that. And the other criteria would definitely include having an undergraduate degree, which I'm sure you all have, and or you're working your way towards it. And yes, so these are the basic eligibility criteria, and nothing more significant than that. Yeah.
Okay, I think the eligibility part has been very clearly explained by you. So one of the major pointers that I could collect from here is that be it from any undergraduate field you have done your undergraduate from, but I think as you said, engineering, history, microbiology, psychology, anything, so basically you are eligible for an MIM, right? There is no such
Yes.
restrictions that you have to be from a management background or something similar, right? So I think that point has been made very that point has made that point has cleared out a lot of things, right? So again, the next thing you said, key for Imperial. Let's speak of Imperial here. For Imperial, you said you did not give write any exams, right? Either the GRE or the GMAT, because IELTS is, yeah, for the student visa it's required. But did you appear for any GRE or GMAT?
Yes, I gave GRE because I applied to LSE as well, which had GRE as a criteria. So yes, I did give my GRE. It actually act. So you have an option in Imperial to add your GRE score in the application form, which kind of becomes your enhancing factor. So it's not
Yeah.
like a very important eligibility criteria to get through your application and get admitted, but you could add it and they can know that you have given your GRE and you have a score. So it won't hurt to have a GRE score, basically, because we all need options and we might be applying to different universities in the UK which might need a GRE. So you can let Imperial know if you have a GRE score or if you have an IELTS score, but it's not like you would be rejected if you don't add your GRE score. Basically, you would be taken through with the rest of the criteria. So yeah.
Understood. Great. So quickly, let's take up the next agenda. So the next question that I would like to ask you from this webinar is that how is the course curriculum of MIM, Masters in Management, at the Imperial?
Yes, interesting question. And yeah, so basically for management, it's very clear that it is kind of, it has finance. Finance is an important crux of management. Along with that, strategy, corporate strategy is important as well. And there are a few other, just one second. Yeah, so there are a few other important aspects, which is like marketing, corporate strategy, and also innovation management based of things. So the course curriculum basically included a lot of core courses which would deepen your understanding of management, and elective courses which you would want to pursue later in your career, or which you would want to learn about management. So core courses include giving you a background on marketing, giving you a background on strategic management, and giving you a background on finance. And elective courses involved a lot on leadership. It involves something on market research. It involved on the more niche courses, which would help you in jobs later and also apply to your interests. But the core courses is like basically solidifies your crust about what management is, because that's very important for us coming from an engineering background. We do not really learn economics in my engineering. We do not learn accounting in engineering. We do not know corporate finance. We don't learn about bonds, debts, and equity and all of that. So it's important that we understand these concepts very well. So this is how it is divided in Imperial. We also have a lot of practical understanding of the courses, so that's why we do assignments. So assignments are mostly group based or sometimes individual based. Imperial focuses on a lot on teamwork and everything. So in that way, I would say that yes. So it's core courses, elective courses with assignments and with exams in a few of them, with basically a lot of team learning to understand a concept better and to also understand practically what we are trying to do. So yeah.
Okay, so that is the course curriculum. So, in the same regard, I would also like to ask you, when it comes to course curriculum, that are internships an essential part of the course curriculum?
Uh, can you could you hear me now?
Yes, yes, yes.
Um, Parag, could you please unmute me in another account which I've just like joined with? Thank you. Can everyone hear me now?
I think it's going. Um,
Can every
yeah, better. Yeah,
now can you hear me well?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, my laptop just died, so I've immediately got on the phone. So thank you. And yeah, could you repeat your question once again?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
So I was asking that are internships an essential part of the course curriculum? Like, are they required? Is it a mandatory thing, or is it something you do with your own choice to get experience, get your hands on it?
Sure. Yeah. So what I would say is that internships in Imperial were actually a part of the work placement elective. So you would have to opt out for this elective, and if you are very keen to pursue an internship and try to gain experience while you are in the course, then you have the opportunity to take an internship and you can do it, and you are graded on terms of how what you learned from the internship, and what were the kind of learnings, what did you do, how did it mean, what you studied in Imperial, how did you apply it in your internship, and all of that. There are many other universities in the UK which actually offer you placement opportunities. They give you like about half it's like a course for 1.5 years, and I think around half a year is only they give you an internship opportunity whereby you can directly apply your skills. So why yeah, so to answer your question, basically I would like to tell you that management is something which is not like you can study it in theory. It's definitely like something which is very interesting to study in theory as well, which you will be doing in your masters. But later on, when you apply it practically in the field, is where the whole idea of management really comes across. So it's it's more practical. It's not very, you can't just listen to it and be like, yeah, I probably understand this, I probably know what marketing is, I'm going to do it this way. But when you apply it in a company, when you kind of, even with very basic communication skills, when you start out with that, and when you go out to, research analysis, and you're trying to, do a understand your competitors, etc., which was basically what every part of management is almost about. So it needs to be done practically. So I would definitely say internships are a very good way after your course to understand how you can employ your learnings better, because internship is a lot safer. Like, in a way, you're not really a permanent asset of the company, so it's not like you will, even if you make mistakes, you are learning, and the company is giving you an opportunity to be an intern, to basically get some work which they can get in the back end, and also to employ and give you an ability to learn and, implement your learnings, etc. So while you are in the course, if you want to take an internship, you barely get a holiday in UK, because it's already a master's course for 1 year. Okay, so it's like already a very intense course. Everything is down, like you might have heard, normally in the US, in I think rest of the world, master's courses are around for 2 years, and only in the UK it's for 1 year, which I personally liked, because I felt I can do my master's a lot earlier, and I think I was like fine with the intensity of it for 1 year. Many people are not. So you first need to get used to the fact that, you are part of this very 1 year intense master's course. I don't mean to, like, discourage and say intense means it's not going to be mad, it's not going to be like you don't have the time to enjoy or anything. It's just going to be very quick. It's not going to be like very aram say, like, it's not going to be like very slow. It's not going to be like you're going to be learning just one course for a very long time. It's going to be very quick. You will be jumping from course to course, but you will be gaining a lot of knowledge, so be assured of that. And also you will be like just doing it in a very fast paced way, but you'll definitely have all the learnings to yourself. So you're just like in a hustle mode. It's just a very interesting 1 year course basically. So I think that's definitely something which I would say you must, like, if you are interested, you should definitely go for it, because it's interesting, and it gives you a lot of learning as to how you could do this course in 1 year. But yeah, coming to the point of internships, I would say that it is difficult to start out with internships in the course, like right from the beginning, because the holidays you get are mostly just one Easter break and one break during Christmas, which is around for 2-3 weeks max. So to try and finding an internship, if you get it, well and good, great. You can employ very basic learnings. And even if you don't like have much of learnings and you can't employ it, you still can start out somewhere. Like basically, you can just get an idea of what work they do and get a field, like get an interest, like try to understand where your interest lies. Does it lie in marketing? Does it lie in finance? Does it lie, working in consulting and strategy or something like that? So it can be a good way to get an internship, to try hard. But don't be discouraged if you don't get an internship, I would say. Like, if you're working hard for it and if you don't get it, it's not mandatory. It's not like it's going to change your world just to have an internship in the middle of your course. An internship after your course is where your best ability and your best capabilities come in the front. You're more confident about what you have learned. You're more confident that you are going to employ this in a company which you want to, like, really try to be part of. Even if you don't want to be part of and it's just an internship, you're going to learn a lot from them as well. So it's fine if you don't do an internship in the middle of your course. If your course offers you an elective, like Imperial does, or another opportunity whereby you can take an internship even as a rigid module or something which is like a core module, then definitely you will have the opportunity to yourself. But yeah, just to say that it's not very important to want, like, have an internship in the middle of your course. But if you are interested, then work hard for it. Try to get it in a small growing company rather than just aiming for a very big one. And try to understand more about management, because smaller companies give you better growth opportunities. And when you are just out of undergraduate, it's always better to join a small company, because you have a lot to learn. It's not very easy. It's not like you, and in bigger companies, it's great, you're part of a really growing team. They have world dominance and they are literally everywhere around the globe, but they are already pretty established. So the growth opportunities might be very like, it's given, it's like set already. It's not like going to be keeping on changing every day, but in a small company it changes every day, so it's going to throw you into more of a challenge. So yeah, this is my answer for internships. I'm sorry I took a lot of time, but yeah.
Great. That's okay. So the next question, which I'm going to ask you, is probably one of the most important questions, which for this session is what I can say. So this has been asked to me by a lot of students. What are the scholarship opportunities that are available for MIM in the UK, for pursuing MIM in the UK?
Okay. So there's a very quick and easy answer to this, which is from India. So I'll divide the scholarship types into three parts. One, which are globally accepted scholarships, which you will get it for going into any university in the UK as an Indian student for masters. Second, there's a type which are university specific scholarships, which I'll go right in the end because this varies from university to university. And the third is some Indian government scholarships or Indian institutional scholarships, which help you to study abroad. So starting with this one, because there aren't many, but there are a few. So it's good to note that there is one famous scholarship called Inlax Shivdasani Scholarship, which is for anyone who wants to pursue masters in the UK or anywhere in the world. But let's talk about UK. So yeah, so this is a scholarship given to undergraduate students who want to go to study in the UK, who have an accept from the UK. So it's important to get an accept. You can't really apply for a scholarship before you get an accept. So this is one of the important scholarships which are there. There are a few other bank-based scholarships as well. So if you go to State Bank or there are a few scholarships which are given, but they are not like they're very minimal. So it's not like it's going to really impact you. But having a scholarship is always great. It's not just a monetary benefit to have a scholarship. It's also great on your CV because you have been given an opportunity or given a grant to go and study somewhere, and people have the trust in you, which is great. So scholarship really adds that to your CV and adds that to your personality and your wherever you go ahead. So these are a few of Indian scholarships. There aren't many, but let me jump to the next one, which is scholarships from the UK, which is one important one, which is called the Chevening Scholarship. And this is given, but there is a small criteria to this one. You need to have at least 2 years of work experience, or at the most of 2 years of work experience. And this is, you need to have a postgraduate master's degree in the UK. And yes, so this is one of the Chevening scholarships. There's something called a Commonwealth scholarship as well, but we are not a Commonwealth country, so it does not apply to us. And yes, so this is one of the Chevening scholarship and the one from India. But let me go into the most important one. And there is also another one, which before I forget, is the IELTS scholarship, which comes from the British Council. So if it does not matter if you give the IELTS exam or not, even if you give TOEFL, you can apply for the scholarship. But it gives you around 3,000 to 10,000 pounds of scholarship to study in any postgraduate university. I applied to this, and I can tell you that the whole process for applying is, you need to have a very good essay to determine what you will want to do as an international student in the UK, why you have chosen so and so university, what are your career goals and aspirations, how are they looking like. And basically you need to sell yourself and say that why you are deserving from India to get the scholarship and what you are going to do best in your career, which like basically increase your chances of getting the scholarship. So these are a few. Going to university based scholarships, so universities have in UK many scholarships, so you can apply to them, but you need to be very mindful of the dates and everything, and you need to make a clear record of them, because or else you might lose the opportunity of missing of applying to them, which I did. So I can tell you out of experience. So in Imperial, let me start with Imperial. There is something which is course based. So for MSc management in itself, there were three scholarships which were just for which kind of like gives you the scholarship of the entire fees, which is one of a very prestigious scholarship basically. And two students get it. And there are other scholarships in Imperial which are a bit broader. One is called the Social Impact Scholarship. So if you have a passion for social impact and sustainability, and if your career aspirations are looking closer to that, and if you have work experience in it, and you want to bring it to if you want to bring it to UK, this passion to UK and Imperial as well, you can apply to the scholarship. There are also a few other scholarships which include a law scholarship, a finance based scholarship, etc. So it depends upon how your expertise or something like that, and how you can try to bring this expertise to Imperial and thereby take the scholarship. And it does not like completely account for your whole fees, but it accounts for a major part of your fees, which is indeed great, and it's a scholarship. So these are Imperial based scholarships. There are a lot of LSE based scholarships which are there for people who join LSE. There is a University of Kent scholarship, there is University of Warwick scholarship, University of Manchester. So like that, each universities has at least 3 or 4 scholarship criterias to which you can apply. I would say apply to all of them if you are if you are interested in that university and you have an offer, because you can really increase your chances like that, and make sure you have a very confident approach when applying for these scholarships, and convince them that why you are coming all the way to UK, why you are deserving to get that scholarship, and what your career aspirations look like. These are the basic things which would help you to get a scholarship. But yes, these are a few of the scholarships out there. Also go through the list of scholarships which are there. Try to study more. I'm sure that more than what I have told you, there will be a lot more existing as well. So you need to really keep researching to some extent from your end as well. But yeah, do reach out to Admit Card or to anyone when you have more scholarship related doubts, so that we can help you better. But this is the overview for what UK scholarships look like.
Great. That was very explanatory, I believe. You had mentioned all the different kinds of scholarships for masters, for universities, for courses, for Indians. So yeah, I think the scholarships part is also done. So the next and the most important part is the career opportunities post MIM. So like at present, you are now doing a full time, which is such an excellent news. So everyone, I think, who goes to do this course would obviously expect a full time job. So I wanted to know on everyone's behalf what are how and what are the the full time job opportunities or career opportunities that are available post MIM.
Sure. So, most interesting question. I think everyone's really interested about knowing what your future looks like in the UK. So, I'm just going to, yeah. So, I'm just like any one of you. It's a good struggle. It's a good hustle. But what comes out of it is really defines your personality in a way. If you want to talk about personal development, and also, of course, your professional development when you get a good job, etc. So, starting out from the start of my course, um, Imperial has a lot of good focus on applying early and having a very good careers team, which most of the universities in the UK have. So you will have a good careers team, which I would say first, the most important thing, my advice to you would be to make good use of this careers team available in the university, because they are going to help you in this process of shaping up your CV, shaping up your cover letter, letting you know of different companies which have opened up applications. There are a lot of university based job portals which from inside, they have like insider news whereby they can tell you when a certain job role is opening up. They let you know, they can ask you to apply to it, but they are not going to do the applications for you. So that is something you should know very clearly. Companies are not going to come to the university and just recruit 5 students and go. It's all going to be something which you are going to do. You are going to know, you are going to get the knowledge from your university, you're going to get the knowledge from a ton of sites which you will be using in the internet. But you have to go out there and you have to apply. You have to have a systematic approach to applying. And one key word which my senior and a friend at Imperial told me is you have to be proactive. So you can't really stop. You have to just keep putting yourself out there. You need to talk to people, you need to understand job roles, and just because you get a rejection, you should not stop. So that's called being proactive. So you need to just keep on doing it. So So this is for a broader sense of what career opportunity, how you can navigate your career hustle in the UK. But yes, what career opportunities look like, so keeping this short, so UK is basically a great hub for business students, I would say. It has a lot of scope for finance. There's a place called Canary Wharf in the UK which holds most of the important banks in the world. So it's a great place for financial institutions. It's a great place for consulting. There are a lot many UK based consulting firms. There are a lot of global consulting firms which are called MBB, which is McKinsey, Bain, and BCG. But there are a lot others which you might have heard the names of PwC, EY, Deloitte, etc. So all of these are there. They have ton of offices in the UK and in London especially. And there are a lot of Europe and UK based consulting firms which kind of give you the UK perspective and the European perspective of how to do consulting, etc. And there are a lot of marketing based firms as well, like Ipsos, GFK, etc. And other than that, if you have niche interests in management, for example, I had something which was more to do with social impact and sustainability consulting. You will find those in London and UK as well. So I would suggest being very clear. I know it's like very difficult to say how to be clear about what you want to do ahead in life, because even I have struggled thinking about it. But if you have, like, a passion, and if you know that that intersects with your management interest and your business degree, etc., then be clear about it and try to go more towards that. How to go more towards that? Try to find out companies in the UK which are working in that specific field which might tap into your interest. Go to LinkedIn, search about these companies. Try to connect with a few of their employees. Try to get a one-on-one session with them, or try to just understand the nature of their work. It's not just always about asking a job. It's also about you gaining the knowledge about understanding what they do, so that you are more confident when you go ahead in interviews and you want to say why I want to work in this space. So try to ask them for internships, because you have to knock at the door. Nobody is going to open the door for you unless you knock on it. So you have to knock on the door, and this is the way it is done. There are a lot of graduate level roles which we all I have applied, which you all will be applying when you join here, because we are all fresh graduates, or we barely have 1 or 2 years of experience. So graduate level roles are up plenty in the UK. So it's very wrong when people say that there are no career opportunities. There are actually plenty with sponsorships and with visa sponsorships, etc. Now that we have the PSW, more and more companies are opening their doors, because they know that a student can take 2 years of a visa um, for themselves, and they can work. And then after that, it depends, if the company really likes you, they'll keep you, or by the time you can move to a company which offers you a sponsorship. So this is how it works in the UK. And graduate level roles are a lot. There are a lot of finance based roles, there are a lot of marketing roles, there are a lot of consulting roles. These are the top 3 which always take the most dominance. But apart from that, if you have like any other interests in law, I had a friend in Imperial who was having an intersection of interest between both law and management. There are a ton of law firms in the UK where you can show your business side in a law firm. You can have a creative, if you are into event management kind of a thing, and if you want to take, if you have that kind of an interest, you also have the opportunity to get into that front. If you have an interest in supply chain management and operations, then there are also a ton of companies which have niche consulting only on supply chain and logistics. So I would definitely like assure you that there are a lot of career opportunities, but it's not going to be like a very simple ride. They're not going to give it to you in a plate. You have to like work hard for it. And if you are proactive, if you keep working hard, and if you apply to companies and try to understand, keep improving yourself after every interview, after every application, understanding, gaining feedback, etc., you will definitely get there. So yeah, and a bit about what I am doing is I got so the company I'm working in was where I interned at as part of my work placement elective in Imperial. So I interned at the company. I started actually as a part-time volunteer for around 3 months. Then I went as a full-time intern, and then I became a full-time analyst over here. So if you see that my career progression, I actually started with a part-time, just so that I could gain the trust of my company, because this was a company I found out for myself and I was really interested in their work. So I tried to gain the trust of my employer, and work for them for a while. Just 20 you are not allowed to work beyond 20 hours a visa in your visa contract. So you start with 20 hours, then you go for a full-time internship, so that they gain you understand the company's work, you make sure you like it, as well as you make sure your employer likes you. And then after that, you will definitely progress into a full-time role, because they know, when it's a small company, they know that you've been there for here, you kind of understand the nature of the work. And when you show an interest towards the work, they also show an interest towards keeping you. So this is what exactly happened with me. It's my personal experience. It happens to a few others here. A few others get the bigger jobs in Accenture and PwC. I have a lot of friends from Imperial who have bagged these jobs, and there are a lot others who are still working hard, but it all is rewarding in the end. It's a great process. So this is what I would say in the career opportunities, and I would like to take like any specific questions to help you out, but yeah, this is a broader sense of what it is like. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the career point of view is very very clear, because people you usually have a misconception that after MIM, or maybe they think that in UK jobs are not available. But thank you for putting light into this. As you said that lot and lot of companies are opening doors for graduates now like never. So I think it's something very great. You know. Best opportunity for students as well right now, because with the PSW also coming in, I think it's a huge advantage for every one of them, right? So from what I could hear from you, I can conclude that that the career opportunities at present are very very good. I feel what I could conclude from you, and also you had you have mentioned some of the places, websites, I believe, some links, etc. From like how to get a job. You also said that one can start with maybe part time and then into a full time intern, and then finally converting to a full time job role, right? So I think it was very very crisp and very explanatory of whatever you said. Right, so thank you very much for that. Now I would like to ask the students who are here, if you have any doubts, you can type the questions in the chat box. We are up for a Q&A, a short Q&A session, please.
Feel free to ask your questions. I'll be happy to help
Yes, please.
for
Yes, please.
another
We
just
have
10
another,
minutes or more. Yeah.
yeah, we have another 5 to 10 minutes. So, guys, please ask away your questions. Upasna is here, and this is the best platform and opportunity for you. Please don't miss it. Okay, so here is the first question that has popped up. Do internships in undergrad help while applying to masters? You're on mute again. Hello?
Thanks. So thank you, Priyatosh, for your question. It's a great one. And yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Hi, can you hear me? Yeah, thank you for your question. And yes, it's a great one. And yes, I can say out of personal experience that internships are very useful and are very important, and do help when you are applying to the masters, when done in undergrad, because I do not have complete full-time experience myself. So my CV included most of my internships only. So these internships are very important, and but you need to make sure and understand that if you are especially from a technical background like me, and if you have probably done something which is apart from, like not a very management based work, you've done more on a technical side, on an engineering side, or on a biological side, etc., then you need to like make them understand what you have learned, which is a little bit closer to a more management perspective of what you've learned. So you could explain what work you have done, but also you can tell them that while doing this, you kind of enhanced your report writing skills, or you enhanced your communication skills, or you are more good in research and analysis because of that, this, etc. So even explain to them what you have done in your technical field, etc., but also tell them that you have gained these skills, soft skills, which will help you explore the management side better. So yeah.
Okay, great. There is another
uh,
question
I
that,
hope that answers your question.
yeah, yeah. So apart from tuition fees, how much money will we need while doing our masters? So she's meaning that. So Khushi here means to ask that apart from the tuition fees, what would be the cost of accommodation and other things?
Yes, got it. Great question, Kushi. I think everyone just goes through, how much will be the whole investment in going for masters in the UK. So let me start with something which is a fact. So the UK government, when you go for your student visa, you are expected to have around 11 lakhs more than your tuition fees as part of your expenses for a year. So this is like a given. They expect you to have it. But okay, so 11 lakhs, which means that it is approximately around a lakh per, per month as an expenditure in the UK. But let me tell you that there are ways you can actually negotiate that, and you can live in a little lesser expense, etc. But that depends on you, of course. So if you kind of stay in hostels, etc., and if you go for living in a room with other two or three more shared people, etc., then you can save a lot of money. I myself lived in a hostel in a twin room. So I stayed with another girl, and it was very convenient, and I paid a lot less than usually anyone would in the UK. So this is one way. But if you're more for a comfort oriented person and you'd like to have, then your rent would be slightly more. Approximately, it's very difficult to tell you how much the rent would be like, because it depends upon where you exactly want to stay and where you're going for the university. So if you stay a little bit more closer to the university, obviously you are saving on your transport, etc. But if you stay a little further where the rent is very low, etc., then you're going to be spending on the transport. So it's a balance which you need to make. So basically it's that way. Apart from that, it also depends upon how much monthly you want to spend for your food. I would suggest making food at home, having a kitchen, and trying to cook food is always going to take less of your expense, also going to teach you something new, and you can make whatever you like. But if you eat out more often, and if you're not used to cooking and all that, that would be a little bit more costly. So you understand what I'm trying to say. And also that you're going out, of course you might be coming first time to the UK, you'd want to explore, etc. So that way you could definitely explore, go out to the parks, etc. There are a lot of them. Go, but you need to have a clear budget. So if you make sure that you keep your expenses very tight, that you're going to 2 3 places but not beyond that. And also if you want to take like a part-time job at a restaurant or something, you can do that. You can work for 20 hours per week, which can kind of help you to cover your weekly expenses for food or anything. So this is the way the other expenses in UK look like, apart from the tuition fees. So I hope that answered your question. Yeah.
Great. So we have a fresher question here as well. I'm totally new to this management field. So can you please suggest me some companies which provides internships for freshers, as I am a first year student? And also what are the requirements?
Okay. So are you like studying first year's bachelor or something?
Yeah,
Like I'm trying to understand
bachelor's.
that.
Yeah, I think it's a bachelor's because uh, yes, it's a bachelor's. Yeah, she means
Okay.
that, I think she means that she's in India. She's in first year now of her bachelor's. So she wants
Yeah,
to
yeah.
do her management abroad, so hence asking for the companies which provides internships for freshers.
Okay, so I interesting question, and I don't know exactly which companies provide internships, but there are many companies. I would suggest, how about trying for probably an NGO, like, because it's easier trying to gain like a management side of perspective in an NGO, or trying to start with something which is very local and which can be more closer to your interest, because that's what I did. I worked at an NGO after my first year. It could be, yeah, they are mostly they are unpaid, because NGOs in India are not really that, they don't have that level of funding to pay us as well, but they can give you a lot of work based on management. Try to get try to speak to people. You don't actually, the beauty of management is that you learn a lot of skills in kind of every job which applies to the management job. So you are almost every time introduced to management. It's just that we are not introduced to certain concepts of management like accounting, economics, etc. So what I would say is that you can take an NGO. Some companies, the top companies, might not give an opportunity just straight in the first year, but it's good to start with some small level enterprises. And I don't have exact company names, but if you have like a few of your friends working for some companies, few of your seniors who are working for companies, or even in your own university, if you have the option to work during the holidays to to help them in their administration or something like that, they'll definitely have a few options. So do it that way, then you are going to get exposure to your management side, because you're going to gain a lot of skills which will be used for management. So that would be my answer to your question.
Yeah, actually, we cannot specify companies where you can go. So there are a lot of portals where you can apply to, right? Like Internshala is there, and there are some more
Yeah.
portals like job portals. Like no one can specify such companies, exact names of the companies, where you can intern for. So yeah, you should start looking for the portals and apply there, and hence there you can find out your in where your interest lies in and can apply accordingly, right? So the last question that we'll take for the day is, how can I enhance my CV apart from internships and my grades? What would improve my chances of getting in?
Okay, great. How can you enhance your CV apart from internships and grades? Okay, so if you are in university, if you are in undergrad still, I would suggest having a lot of exposure to extracurricular activities, being part of a lot of organizing teams, trying to, for example, you might have a sports fest in college, or you might have a small, even if considering the pandemic going on, and you are going to be, organizing some webinars or something like remote fests or something like that. I would suggest being part of the organizing or the volunteering or the coordinating team, so that you have exposure to working with people. Basically, interpersonal skills are very important. So I would suggest like gaining those kind of skills and enhancing your CV. Apart from that, there are a ton of courses available on Coursera, on edX, on LinkedIn, and I would suggest doing those as well. And yeah, and apart from that, to enhance your CV, I think these are two ways by which you can definitely start enhancing your CV, and to build up your achievement list.
Great. I think that has
Yeah.
answered the question. So coming to a conclusion, I think we are up with time as well. So thank you very much, everyone, for
Yeah.
joining in. Thank you, Pastor. Really appreciate it for giving out time on a Saturday afternoon. So thank you very much. Have a good
No
day.
worries.
Thank you very much, guys, who have joined in. I'm sure this session was of great help to you. Thank you very much. And yeah, we'll reach out to you for any help, or do reach out to us for any help. Thank you. Have a good night. Have a great week.
Yes, thank you everyone.